Good morning, everyone. What a crowd. We are absolutely honored by your presence here this morning to celebrate our 2019 Scholarship Awards breakfast. My name is Damon Andrew, and I'm the Dean of the College of Education. I hope everyone has enjoyed their breakfast and are having a good morning so far. And hopefully you've had a chance to talk with the people at your table. And I'm sure you realize the caliber of the people in attendance today. FSU has some of the best students around, and we are so lucky to have many of them here with us today. However, we also have a few other noteworthy guests, and I want to take a moment to recognize them. Joining us this morning, we have Dr. Dre Graham, Florida Teacher of the Year from King High School in Tampa, Florida. Ms. Michelle Kefford, Florida Principal of the Year and FSU alumna, now at Marjorie Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida. Ms. Bernadette Pletcher, Florida Assistant Principal of the Year from James Tillman Elementary in Memphis, Florida. Mr. Malcolm Thomas, Florida Superintendent of the Year from Escambia County School District. We also have Ms. Bethany Lucas, Florida School-Related Employee of the Year from Merritt Brown Middle School in Bay County, Florida. I want to thank each of you for taking the time to be with us here today. Each of you has made an undeniable impact on education in the state of Florida. And whether or not you realize it, you have become a role model, not just for individuals in your school districts, but to so many of the students with us here today. Students, if you get the opportunity, make sure you talk to our guests and take a moment to hear what they have to say. Now, more than ever, we need to recognize the achievements of individuals in education. Whether it's the teacher who stays late to prepare for tomorrow's lesson, a counselor who helps students find their path, a coach who inspires players on and off the field, or a staff member who keeps the education system going behind the scenes, we know that their work sets the foundation for all of us here today. I'm sure that everyone in this room knows a teacher, a coach, an administrator, someone at a school you attended that made a difference in your life. And looking at all of our students here today, I can already tell you that the future is in good hands, that each of you will inspire and become someone's favorite teacher, counselor, administrator, coach, and more. Educators and administrators have the important job of preparing students for future careers, and I think the importance of this is often overlooked. Without you, without the right word of encouragement, the right push, students might not discover their drive and calling. And yet, despite the importance of educators and related professions, being a teacher is often seen as a thankless job. The common perception of a teacher is someone who is overworked, underpaid, and underappreciated. It's not unfair to say that the public perception of an educator is down, to say the least, even though education is the profession that makes all other professions possible. Obviously, in my version of a perfect world, teachers would be paid as well as doctors and lawyers, but that's a little beyond my power as dean. However, what I realized that we could do as a college is help change the perception of the world's most important profession. That's where we came up with the idea for Project Elevate Ed, a new program that seeks to elevate the professions of all K through 12 professionals. Today is actually the kickoff of Elevate Ed, and at today's football game, education professionals, as I introduced earlier, will be honored at halftime, so I hope that you're all planning and coming to the game. But today's festivities are just the start. We want each and every educator out there to understand how important they are and get the recognition that they deserve. To that end, we'll be delivering a care package later this fall to FSU alumni serving in schools across the state that includes a stuffed Cimarron that can be placed on their desk or other highly visible areas of their classrooms. This care package is a token of our appreciation for all that they do, and we want our alumni to be able to show their FSU pride So by having Cimarron in a prominent location, it will no doubt spur curiosity from their students about FSU and provide our alumni with the opportunity to talk about their time here and why they chose to go into education. The latest survey data indicates that less than 3% of Florida high school seniors would even consider a career in education. So we must begin critical conversations about the important role of educational professionals earlier than ever. We will continue to need high-quality teachers in the future, and we hope this initiative helps the next generation of students think about the profession of teaching as their way to positively impact society. Beyond that, we have started working to make sure educators have the support that they need right here at the College of Education at FSU. As part of Elevate Ed, we have relaunched our school counseling program. We've launched the first online doctoral program at FSU for our educational leadership and policy program. We created FSU Coach, which is an interdisciplinary center for athletic coaching, and increased the scholarships for teacher education, and many more. We hope that through these actions, we can get everyone to see education as the vital cornerstone of our society that we know it to be. So to all of our guests, thank you for everything that you have done as educators and as role models. And to all of our students here today, I have no doubt that you will go out and make a difference. And I want you to know that even long after you graduate from FSU, we will be doing everything we can to recognize your accomplishments and celebrate your achievements. In a few years, maybe we'll even have some of you back to acknowledge you as Florida Educator of the Year. Now it's my pleasure to welcome our Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Dr. Amy Garrett, to recognize a few of today's scholarships recipients. Amy?
Good morning. My name is Amy Garrett. I'm the Associate Dean for Academic Affairs here in the College of Education. This is absolutely one of my favorite events. It's a really fun time to get to celebrate our students, our donors, and their families and friends. I'm going to take a couple minutes to tell you a little bit about the college and our students before I get to introduce two of our outstanding scholarship recipients. Students, did you know you are now attending a top 20 institution? You might have heard the news. Last week, FSU shattered the top 25, I like to say, to become ranked 18th in the nation. That adds value to all of your degrees and all of your education. The College of Education, a lot of people don't know, is actually ranked 39th out of over 300 colleges of education in the nation. Our online programs are also ranked 13th. Our college is not your typical college of education. We have a large variety of majors at both the undergraduate and graduate level. We do everything from teacher education to sport management and sports psychology. Our graduates work in countless industries, like school districts, Fortune 500 companies. They work with professional athletic teams, and they work at prestigious universities across the nation and worldwide. We have about 1,900 students in the college. That's a question I get asked often, so I figured I'd throw that in there. About 1,000 of you are graduate students, so we have more graduate students than undergraduate students these days. Currently, our students come from 37 different countries. Around the Stone Building and in Tully, we can't forget about Tully Gym, we are training the future higher education professionals, whether they're going to be faculty members, if they're in our doctoral programs. I think a really fun fact is that the College of Education graduates the second largest number of doctoral students at FSU. Arts and Sciences, huge college, obviously has more. We're also developing the leadership skills of our students in a variety of ways. One way is our Student Leadership Council. This is a group of student representatives from around the college that serve as the voice of our students to the dean's office. And I have the honor of serving as their advisor. Many of them are scholarship recipients here today, and some of them actually help with this event. So we did want to take a minute to have our current and past Student Leadership Council members stand up and be recognized. Don't be shy. I now want to recognize all the scholarship recipients in the room. You all should be very proud of your accomplishments. Scholarship recipients, please stand when I call your department to be recognized. First department is Educational Leadership and Policy Studies. Come on, don't be shy. Second department is Educational Psychology and Learning Systems. Sport Management. And School Teacher Education. We're hosting this event during FSU Family Weekend for a reason. We want to not only celebrate our students, but also their families, their partners, their friends who serve as a critical support network. We want to thank all of you in the room for your time, your love, and your dedication to our students. Please give yourselves a round of applause. As Dean Andrew mentioned, the college is truly elevating education. And one of the ways that we're doing so is in preparing a new generation of classroom teachers. About 3 years ago, the college dedicated itself to creating innovative programs that thoroughly prepared future teachers. To meet the needs of today's students and schools, we developed expanded teacher education programs that lead to both a bachelor's and a master's degree. Each of these 5 programs prepare students to make data-driven instructional decisions. Our new combined degree pathways, as they're called, also added areas of specialization. For example, our elementary education program added an emphasis on math and science, and our special education program added endorsements in both reading and autism spectrum disorders. We're very proud of these new pathways, and we feel that our graduates will be day one ready for today's classroom, which is really important. Our first cohort began in fall 2017. Some of them are in the room today, and they just became master's students recently. I now have the honor of introducing you to one of those students, Daniel Gregorio. I worked closely with Danny over the past 2 years as a member of the Student Leadership Council, and it's been amazing to see him grow as both a student leader and a future teacher. Danny's in our English Education BS/MS program, and he's the recipient of the Dr. Phoebe Jackson Smith and the Fearless 5 scholarships. Danny's now going to share a few words with you.
Good morning, everyone. As Dr. Garrett said, my name is Daniel Gregorio. I'm originally from Miami, Florida. I'm of Cuban descent, and I'll be the first person in my family to earn a master's degree. I want to be a teacher because I passionately believe in the intrinsic value of education, and I love school so much that if I can't be a student forever, I figure being a teacher is the next best thing. I was also lucky to have had amazing teachers that inspired me and made it easy to admire the profession. As a student teacher, I work hard in the hopes that I might someday live up to their degree of excellence as educators. I didn't always know that I wanted to be a teacher, though. I had considered teaching, but I hadn't decided on a major when I started as a freshman at FSU. Then I took Intro to Education and I was hooked. That class helped me realize that education was my calling, and every class since then has reinforced that realization. At the end of my freshman year, I decided that I wanted to be an English education major. When I entered the program as a junior and I found out that I would be part of the first cohort to go through the combined bachelor's and master's pathway, it was the cherry on top of a decision that I already felt pretty good about. The College of Education quickly became something of a second home for me, and it has been an ideal place to grow into the identity of teacher. I'm grateful every day to be a student at the COE, and even if I could, I wouldn't trade my experience there for any other. The financial support I've received from the COE Foundation scholarships has made it possible for me to not always need a part-time job. It has afforded me the time to dedicate myself fully to my schoolwork, and it's thanks to that extra time that I've been able to make the President's List every semester. The scholarships have also given me the financial freedom to pursue some of the great opportunities that the COE has to offer. As a member of the Student Leadership Council, I have the privileged responsibility of voicing student concerns and working with the college's administration to address those concerns. And as a part of the Purpose Research Fellowship, I was mentored by faculty researchers to study topics related to social justice and education. These opportunities have helped me grow as a scholar and as a professional, and they are opportunities that I would have otherwise had to forego in order to support myself financially if it weren't for the COE Foundation scholarships. Donors, by making these scholarships possible, you've lightened my financial burden and allowed me to focus on being the best student and becoming the best teacher that I can be. Your generosity is inspiring. I thank you sincerely for helping me achieve my humble dream of becoming an English teacher. And of course, go Noles.
I now have the honor of introducing our second Outstanding Scholarship awardee, Melanie Gamal. I've worked with Mel over the past 3 years as a member in the Student Leadership Council. She's a natural-born leader, and she's dedicated countless hours towards our student initiatives. Mel is a doctoral candidate in sport management, and her research focuses on the experiences of individuals who participate in Special Olympics Unified Champion Schools. She's the recipient of the John and Clara McDonald Fellow and the Thomas Wesley Byron Endowed Scholarship. Mel's now going to share a few words with you.
Well, I made it up here without tripping in my heels, so I got the hard part over. So as Dr. Goretz's introduction indicated, I love sports. Sports always been a part of my life, both professionally and personally. Almost 5 years ago, I was teaching health and physical education to high school students. 10 years before that, I was a high school varsity athlete on the volleyball, soccer, track, and tennis teams. 15 years before that, Lil Mel, which is not my rap name, it's the name I'm referring to as Childhood Mel, was constantly being introduced to sports. Coach Dad, who somehow knew how to coach every single sport, would spend his days teaching Lil Mel and her teammates the basics. Coach Mom would help Lil Mel practice those skills while herself also exemplifying what it took to be a leader and a top athlete. In 1996, Lil Mel was first introduced to the modern Olympic Games. It was at that moment that she was given the dream of being a part of the Games herself. Lil Mel was fascinated, she was energized, she was mesmerized by the power of sport to bring people together. After going far away from home to attend university in New York and New Mexico, Lil Mel got her chance to work in her dream job. Lil Mel was shaped by her professional, personal, and academic experiences within and as a part of the highest level of sport. Lil Mel fully recognized who I, Mel, am today. However, as I continue to dive deeper into the impact that sport has on our society, I've realized that sports has more than just positive ramifications. Unfortunately, we can all think of instances, if not multiple ones, where sport has sometimes fueled and sustained greed, corruption, and other negative outcomes. I began to try to think back to the days of Lil Mel watching athletes from around the world compete in Atlanta. I realized that it wasn't a tangible thing that had her glued to the TV. It was a feeling that she had that day. It was a feeling that made me look into getting a PhD. I wanted to not only know what drew me to sport, but I also wanted to share those feelings with others. The power of teamwork, the lessons of leadership. Sport played a setting that tested our deepest fears and prepared us to deal with our lowest lows. Let me quickly add that when preparing for this speech, I was told to try to keep the spirits high and to fill the room with happiness. However, what I'm about to share with you often brings me to tears. If I cry, though, I promise they're all happy tears. As I started my degree, sport continued to represent a place that I associated with negativity, but I stuck with it. Then one day I was introduced to the inclusion revolution, and it all happened again. I had that same overwhelming feeling that Lil Mel had in the 90s. Lil Mel was shining again through me. Lil Mel was back. All the negatives aside, sport gave me a place to socialize and connect with people that I've felt some become my best friends, but also with people that I had nothing in common with. Sport has what it takes to bring all walks of life together. In my opinion, the work done by those involved in the Special Olympics provides the framework for this. They work towards giving everyone the opportunity to shine, to play, and to learn. I was given this opportunity to work with the Special Olympics when the Leon County team asked me to play on their basketball travel team. I learned so much, and so much more than I expected. For those of you that have seen me play basketball today, you might think that I didn't learn a lot, but most of the lessons I learned were off of the court. Through my dissertation research, I also helped create and provide more opportunities for inclusion by working closely with the Special Olympics in Leon County and FSU intramurals to ensure that we were providing more opportunities here on the FSU campus for those with intellectual disabilities. I have a story to tell you about one of my teammates, and for the story I'm going to call her Locke. So we're at our first game, and Locke overheard one of our opponents make a comment about how she didn't want to play against our team. In Locke's experiences as a person with an intellectual disability, she just stopped and waited for this person to say something negative. But that didn't happen that day. Instead, our opponent said how intimidated she was to play us. Locke was pleasantly surprised. Locke had thanked me for working towards getting them an official IM team. She told me that her and others with intellectual disabilities are often overlooked in our society, but that it didn't have to be that way, and that, and more importantly, it shouldn't be that way. She was able to display her braveness and show her confidence on the field, changing not only herself, but the perceptions of herself to those around her. The Special Olympics athlete Oak says, "Let me win, but if I cannot win, let me be brave in the attempt." Just by existence, all of these athletes display bravery. But programs like Unified Sport provide opportunities for those without intellectual disability to see this bravery. It's so important for everyone in our society to be provided with these opportunities to shine, and I want everyone to be a part of that change and to have the knowledge and tools to do so. I learned that we can always strive for a better world, and when we get to that new world, we set new goals to move further forward. The generosity of the Byron, Bolden, and McDonald Fellowships have given me the funding I need to experience this. Through my research, I want to outline the best practices for how we implemented sport at FSU and how others can do so in the future. I want to share tips and guidelines for how to do this, the issues that might arise, what worked, what could be improved, and what we can always do better from the perspective of someone who was in it, who experienced it, and who was changed by it. With all of the bad things today in sports, I can't thank our donors enough for believing in my research. I thank you for reigniting the flame in me, for reinforcing my decision to stick with it. Whether we're supported by our past experiences or forced by them, we all managed to get here with the help of others and the hard work of our own. If you aren't the scholarship recipient, you're here as a proud family member of theirs. If you aren't a proud family member, you might be one of the friends who might feel like family. Maybe it's your job to be here. Maybe you're a proud advisor. If you're a student here, it's likely you were chosen this scholarship because you are unique. Something about you was special. Something about your life on paper was convincing, captivating, trusting, and deserving of the award you received. But no matter why you're here or who you are, what you wrote, how you wrote it, none of us would be here without this financial support. So students, I encourage all of you to go home, and if you haven't already, look and see who your donor is. Find out the history about them, where they are, what you have in common with them, how their legacy was developed. And to all of our parents, I want to thank you guys for believing in us when we were all little Mels. For our advisors for helping guide us and move us forward. To our administrators for providing us services to handle the pressures of academia. To the staff for giving us opportunities to meet with those to form partnerships in the future. All of us students here are so thankful for the generosity of our donors. I know I speak when all of us when I say we promise to continue to use our knowledge to create, challenge, and change the world. As long as we have our family and friends, advisors, cohort, professors, therapists, and givers like you, we promise to make a difference through teaching and learning with those around us and those that we meet in the future. To all of the donors, I thank you for giving me and all of us in here the financial relief that has allowed us to focus on our studies, make exciting discoveries, and to volunteer. You've indirectly given me time to find my passion, to fight the good fight, to serve, to make change. Locke was right. Discrimination is wrong and it has no place in our world. And it doesn't need to be that way. All of us here understand that. We know that FSU has provided us with invaluable opportunities to be brave in our attempt to reach our goals. We want to make sure, and we will prove to you that you chose the right person to provide support to. We deserve to be here, but that doesn't mean we would all be here if it wasn't for your donations. Many of you have supported many of us, and we will continue to work our hardest to move in the footsteps towards helping those in the future. We promise to take what you have given us, to do right with it, and to continue to use your emotional, mental, and financial support to make things be the way they should be. Thank you.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Have we all had a chance to have a good breakfast? Okay, because there's about 9.5 hours of tailgating ahead for some of you. I want to make sure you got a good base. All right. Thank you, Melanie. Thank you, Daniel, both of you for sharing your stories. We run this program for the students like you and the 200 other classmates of yours. But none of these scholarships would be possible without the donors who invest in the College of Education. At this time, I'd like to ask our donors to stand as I call your name and be recognized. Sonia Veal-Valino and the family of Dr. Will Veal. Tom and Evelyn Vlasic. Sue Nelson and Trish England. The family of Haley Marie Mullen. Barry and Ralph Gonzalez. Sarah Ann Daly and the Honorable John Daly. Linda Smith. Elizabeth Platt. Diane Johnson. Rob and Jim Sheets. Jim and Chris. Charles and Scott Mabry. Donna Tornillo. Karen Walker. Bob Reardon and Janet Lenz. And Marcy Driscoll. Thank you all. This is a great group of donors. Every year that we do this, we get some folks who come back, but it's wonderful to have so many people here joining us in celebration of our students. We thank you all. This is a group of alumni, friends, and retired faculty who all believe in this school. They believe in what you're doing. Several of you, though, are students. We know you come up to us afterwards and you'll look through the program and try and find your donors and whether or not they are here. And you may notice that your donors are no longer with us. Creating a permanent endowment in the College of Education necessarily means that this scholarship will outlive you. One day, this is going to continue on in your name. Several of our scholarships are created by a gift from a donor's estate or named in honor of loved ones that we have lost. To understand what this means is to realize how much trust and faith we put into our students. Represented in the scholarships of today's group of donors are a valued colleague and a friend, husband and a wife, fathers and mothers, and a daughter who was only beginning to show the world what she could do. This scholarship program is not on Family Weekend by accident, but because we know that for those who will let it, Florida State University becomes a part of your family. And there can be no better proof of that than our donors who give to our students, give them the chance to succeed in the names of those they love. A name scholarship isn't just an award for what you've done. It is a promise that we believe in you and we know that you're going to make us proud. Now, There's an awful lot to be proud of in our room today, both from our students and from our alumni. We've got Florida's Principal of the Year here, Michelle Kefford, an FSU alum, and we go all the way up to the President of Botswana, Magwitsi Masisi, who is a graduate of this program, College of Education. So we know that you can go far and wide with a degree from education. Our first donor speaker this morning is a two-time College of Education alumna with a Bachelor in Vision Impairments and Orientation and Mobility, and a Master's in Special Education with a concentration in Emotional Disabilities and Learning Disabilities. In 2010, she founded Allied Instructional Services, which provides educational services in vision, orientation and mobility, deaf and hard of hearing, occupational therapy, physical therapy, and interpreters for school systems up and down the East Coast. Allied Instructional Services has been honored twice by the Jim Moran Institute as a member of the Seminole 100. That's the 100 fastest growing FSU alumni-owned businesses. To share why she gives back to our visual disabilities program, please welcome Karen Walker.
Good morning. It is just an honor to be able to be here in front of you and to be able to give back and do something and recognize my university and be at my alma mater and be with you guys and try and inspire you to do more. The fact that you have already, are being recognized for these scholarships already show that somebody has seen something in you. And that's already a huge accomplishment. And whatever that is, whatever is driving you, whatever that passion is, I want you to hang on to it and hold on to it and never lose sight of it, because that will be what will guide you and make you the incredible teacher, what job or whatever, wherever you want to go. That's going to be what will guide you if you hang on to it. And I went to school here at FSU. I studied to be a teacher of the blind and visually impaired. Finished that degree and went, I think I'll go home and get my master's in emotional start learning disabilities. Had no idea I would ever own a company like I do today. And it's the passion, it's the drive, it's the, I always take every opportunity I can to tell other people I'm in the best job, I have the best field, I love what I do. You love what you do, you can share it with other people and they'll see it. They'll see it in you, and if you share, in our field of teaching visually impaired, it's so rare that I walk up to somebody and go, what do you do for a living? Oh, I teach people across the streets that are blind. Oh, I never knew that job exists. I said, oh, it's the best job in the world. And I've been able to drive people to come into the field. In my business, which has grown, I brought into the field my own sister, my sister-in-law, and so many other people. I just love everything about it. I love everything about teaching, and I love everything about FSU. I love everything about FSU so much. My daughter's here too. She didn't have much choice, but yes. Might have been the diaper covers or the cheerleading outfits from a young age, who knows. But anyway, so my success has given me the opportunity to give back to the university and to invest in you guys, because you are our future. And I loved hearing what someone else was saying earlier, that they're gonna use it and achieve it and go forward. Yes, that's what I hear. That's what I want to inspire you to. So hang on to it. And there's one other thing that I want to always tell you to always think about, no matter what. It's one thing I always tell everybody. And that is, take time to know the why. Because I think whenever you take time to know the why in life is what brings you success and allows you to inspire and understand others to be able to move forward with that. So as I say that, I want everybody to take a second to think about the teacher, the coach, whatever person that is, who inspired you, who was the best teacher that you can think of, or coach, or bus driver, or whoever, but kind of in a school setting, who was that person? More than likely, it was not the most knowledgeable teacher, the one who could share their content knowledge the best and who knew all about it. More than likely, it was the teacher who took the time to learn the why, to understand what made each student tick, how to get through to that child. Those are the teachers that usually stand out. That philosophy is not just, it's what carries me on in my company. When someone brings an idea to me, I want to know the why. So if a child comes to you and they say, "Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't get my homework done," or sometimes they may have an attitude, don't just get an attitude back with them. Never do that. That's your opportunity to change a life. So hang on to it and see if you can dig deeper and figure out what is that child's why. What can I do to change this child's life? Why aren't they turning in their paper? What's really going on here? And that's my number one. And hang on to it.
Thank you, Karen. There's a table full of visual disability students there who appreciate everything that you're doing for FSU. Thank you so much. Our second speaker this morning is a Tallahassee native and a good friend of the College of Education who earned his bachelor's degree across campus in political science, but also while serving as SGA president at his time here. He then earned a master's in public administration before heading to the London School of Economics and Political Science to earn a master's in urban and regional planning, all while serving there as an aide in the British Parliament. He returned to Tallahassee in 2005, found JDA Strategies, a research and consulting firm focused on local governance. He was elected in 2006 to the Leon County Commission and was reelected twice without opposition, but he was also elected in 2018 as mayor of the city of Tallahassee. Ladies and gentlemen, he is joined today by his mother, Sarah Ann Daly, as they honor the memory of Dr. John Scott Daly, the Honorable John Daly.
Thank you, Kevin. Morning. Kevin has told me I only have 45 minutes to talk about the principles of council management form of government. I'm just kidding. My name is John Daly. I'm the proud mayor of Tallahassee. First of all, for those of you that are visiting us this weekend, just raise your hand. Who's visiting Tallahassee? Hey, welcome back to Tallahassee. We are thrilled to have you here. Welcome back to Florida State University. What a great weekend. I encourage you to spend as much money to help support our local economy while you're here. But nonetheless, thank you. And where are all my friends that live here, whether you're students or your faculty, it's great to be amongst you. And I promise you as your mayor each and every day, I'm working as hard as I possibly can to make this a great community, starting with perfect weather and a victory this evening on the football field. We're doing the best we can. Dean, thank you so much for inviting us to be here today and giving me the opportunity to speak. I am your last speaker, so by the power vested in me, I declare it game day attire. You can take your tie and your coat off and relax a little bit. I love family weekend. My family bleeds garnet and gold. My mother, Sarah Ann Daly, Mom, stand up real quick. I'm going to try not to embarrass you. My father attended Florida State. My mother attended Florida State. I graduated Florida State. I graduated Florida State. My wife graduated Florida State. My brother graduated Florida State. My sister attended Florida State. I mean, we bleed garnet and gold. So family weekend is very important to us. And the College of Education and this event is very important to us as well. But I'm not here as the mayor, per se. I am here to talk about a wonderful gentleman. And first and foremost, let me introduce two fine young ladies as well. Dana and Katie, will you just stand real quick? So, really, and you can take your seat now. I just wanted you to Really, I'm speaking to you too. So let's just act like there's nobody else here in the room, because I'm very proud of you. Actually, I feel very underwhelmed about my own academic performance, having sat with this table and listened to all the amazing things that these students are doing. But I'm really proud of you, and my mom is very proud of you, and my family is very proud of you. And one thing that the dean, and I believe maybe it was Kevin, mentioned earlier, is that sometimes it's tough to put, the family or the name behind the scholarship. Well, that is us. So my father was an absolutely amazing gentleman, and he did pass away, golly, Mom, what's it been? 2003 from pancreatic cancer, long battle with pancreatic cancer. And we created this scholarship in his name because of the lasting impression that this college has had and Florida State has had on him. He grew up in the Miami area. He was tough. He was a center for North Miami Beach High School, Beach High. Played against Lee Corso and some tough people. Straight out of high school, he went into the service. It was that sweet spot between the Korean War and the Vietnam War, and served in Japan, actually. And he came back stateside and got out of the service. He came to Tallahassee and went to school at Florida State. And he worked the night shift at the rental car company out at the old airport, those of y'all that remember the old airport. And he worked nights and he studied during the day, and he met my mom. And they're both educators, graduated from Florida State. My father received his master's degree in geography from Florida State University. They went back down south. My mother taught elementary school. My father taught junior high. And he was known for not only being the amazing teacher. So he was that homeroom teacher that when he was calling the roll, he had a song for everybody. So when he called your name, if there was a famous song associated with it, he would sing it out. And it just brought a smile. I still have people that were in his junior high class that will find me and call me to talk about my father. He was also pretty ferocious as a flag football coach. Back then they had some league at the school, and all the teachers had their teams and they played each other. And he was very competitive. And so I was born, and 6 months after I was born, he was accepted into the PhD program here in the College of Education at Florida State. My family moved back, and we've been here ever since. One of his dear friends in the program actually was former President T.K. Weatherall. They went through the PhD program together in the College of Education. My father truly was a leader. He was also funny as hell, let me tell you. You ask anybody in here that has known my father over years, they all have a great story about Scott Daly. But he was a leader. He served on the Leon County School Board for 2 terms, truly believing in public education and K-12 education. He was a leader that made some incredible changes here. And I know Dee Dee Rasmussen, who's a member of the school board, is here as well, absolutely. But he was also pretty iconic in paving a new way. So my father started a program called the Florida Institute of Government. It is based at Florida State, but it is associated with the university system across the state of Florida. And it is a research institute for local governments, whether they're school districts, municipalities, or counties. It's very important work that they did, and I'm very proud of the fact that now, since he has passed, they've actually named it after him. The gentleman that this scholarship is named after, you'd be very proud of him, and he would be very proud of you. Katie, the fact that you're going into elementary education is absolutely amazing. My mother taught first grade for 28 years. Dana, not only going into elementary education, but he had a love for FSU baseball. And I just learned that you're a bat girl, and that is absolutely fantastic because I have fond memories, and my wife has fond memories when she was at law school. This is back, remember, when FSU would have the random first pitch on a Tuesday at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And my father was known for sneaking out of work. And as a college kid, we would go. And you know, the beauty of baseball is sometimes it's just slow and you could just sit there. And we would take our books and we would study, and he would enjoy the game. And it was just time that we spent together. So when you're out there, not only studying, but while you're on the baseball field as well, helping the team, I want you to look up. You'll see Sarah Ann sitting 5 rows up on the first baseline. We have had those seats for, goodness, since they built the new stadium. And you'll see my family there too, and we'll be looking for you. And just know that we're proud of both of you. Very proud of both of you. And Dana, I know that you have promised me that you're going to throw me a t-shirt, and I'm here to tell you that based on a scholarship, it will be the most expensive t-shirt I own, hands down. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my honor and privilege to be here. I have thoroughly enjoyed, and Dana, great job this morning speaking, and really impressed. This has been one of the best breakfasts that I've had in a long time, and it's an honor and privilege to be with each and every one of you. Thank you.
you so much, Mayor Daly, for all that you do to support Florida State University and the city of Tallahassee. This is the state's most generous scholarship program in the College of Education. And it simply would not be what it is today without the generous support of our alumni and friends. We're lucky to have so many, that FSU prepare for success who can now give back to FSU for these opportunities. And I would not be surprised to know that one day, 20 years from now, that one of you in this room will choose to come back and create an endowment of your own to honor your time here. But the dean and I can't wait 20 years. So before I let you go, let me tell you what you can do today to support and strengthen the scholarship program, as well as organizations like our Student Leadership Council. You saw both students who are members of that organization speak, and initiatives like the Dean's Project Elevate Ed. We've been bragging about having the best education scholarship program in Florida for the last 5 years. We've been saying it everywhere we can. And that started to bother our friends down in Gainesville. They seemed to think that they cared more about their students than we did here at FSU. And last year, they called us out. They challenged us to something some of you will remember called the Duel of the Schools. Right? Now, the 2018 Duel was a 2-week donor participation challenge. It was not focused on raising millions of dollars, but on encouraging all of our students, our alumni, all of our friends to participate, to make small gifts that would add up and show your overwhelming support for FSU. Now, I'm proud to say last year, Florida got 258 unique gifts. Of course, FSU got 512. We told them anytime they wanted to come back, we'd take up the challenge again. Now, we're going to do it again, and so in just a second here, I'm hoping somebody's got the tech all set up. We're going to show you a little kickoff video that we're doing. But as a forewarning, they liked it so much, the challenge, that they did a Beat Week challenge with the University of Miami for their first game this year. And they put up 1,063. All right? So we know we've got a little bit of an uphill battle this year, so we're starting early. Okay?
I think there's a better way to settle this.
Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Each year, our colleges have given over $1 million in scholarships to build a brighter future for our students.
Today, we want to thank you for using your school spirit for good and joining us in the Duel of the Schools.
The rivalry between UF and FSU will never change.
But we can use it to transform the lives of our students.
Until next year, go Gators.
I think you meant go Knowles.
I'm sure I meant go Gators.
How about go education?
There we go. Race you to the car.
You're on.
You're the first group outside of our development offices to get the chance to see this. And as I say, we're going to be sending it out en masse soon. Everybody's going to get a chance to see it with all the details. But I'll give you a couple details. It's not yet. So this is going to be a 2-week challenge once again. It'll start November 19th, and it'll run through December 3rd. So that's the week before Thanksgiving, running through Thanksgiving and the UF-FSU football game, and then ending on Giving Tuesday, another day that we typically engage folks to try and think about giving back to education. We want you to consider joining us and supporting education. It's an easy way to do it. It's a minimum gift level of $5, which is why we reach out to students to say participate in this with us and help us beat those Gators down in Florida. All right? We only need 1,000 of you. All right. If you've enjoyed yourselves this morning, please thank our incredible events team led by Jenny Kroger, Rachel Jeter, and honestly the woman who, without her effort and leadership in this event, and for that matter the fact that she processes every single one of your scholarships, this would have never happened. Please thank Ashley Milton. All right, everybody, that's it for us. Enjoy the rest of Family Weekend, and go Noles.